did a phone interview. Hi guys, my name is Minka, and if you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit the red subscribe button below. I make stuttering support videos, vlogs, and other types of videos. So I actually did a phone interview recently, and I just wanted to tell you how it went, and I wanted to tell you certain things that helped me feel more confident, certain things that didn't help me feel more confident, things that didn't really matter. So I did a phone interview for a job that I had applied for. I was very excited because there were multiple applicants for this job, and then they asked me to do a phone interview with them. So I'll tell you guys, I've never done a phone interview before in my life. So I was very, very nervous because it was for a very professional company. It was for a very secure, good company. And so the day came that I had to do the phone interview, and yes, I was very, very nervous. And what had happened was the company actually called me and told me that they wanted to schedule a phone interview with me. So I had to call them back, and calling them back, of course, I was very nervous because I was so afraid that I was going to stutter and that it would look bad and everything. So anyway, so I called them back, and the lady on the phone was really nice. I didn't really stutter, perhaps on a few words. And then so we scheduled the phone interview for the next day. So then the next day came, and then I did the phone interview, and it was one of those phone interviews where it was not an easygoing one, I guess you can say. It was a very professional interview where they were asking me questions that, like, some of the questions were very difficult to answer and stuff. So the interviewer, she was asking me these questions. I did stutter. I did stutter a lot, yes. And I was talking a bit slowly, and I didn't really respond like some of the questions. I kind of wish I would have responded a bit better, but I was really afraid to stutter, so I kind of held back, which honestly I do wish I would not have done, because I was just so I just wanted to get the interview done. I didn't want to have to stress about it, you know. It just made me really, really nervous. I hate job interviews as they are, and especially on the phone, it's 10 times worse. Oh my gosh. So I did it. So I did not get the job, so that was a shame, but it's okay. But so yeah, so I just wanted to share that with you because it's a video that I really wanted to make, because I know I get a lot of questions too regarding interviews with concerning applying for jobs and going in-person interviews and phone interviews. And I have done in-person interviews, and I have done phone interviews now. When I joined the Marine Corps, I didn't have to do any type of interview. I just went in and I signed a contract. So that was pretty much how that went. So I didn't have to interview or anything. I was extremely happy that it was done. It was very short. It was probably only about 10 minutes long. And it was funny because when I had called the woman the day beforehand to schedule the interview, she told me that the person who was going to interview me was new, which I was like, oh no, like, come on, like, you know, why? Because usually when they're newer, they do everything perfectly, and they ask like they ask all, I don't say all the harder questions. They go by the book, so to speak. So it just made me really, really nervous. I will say though, a few tips that I can give you is that when I did call the lady the first time, even this wasn't even for the interview, but when I called her the first time, I made sure to kind of dress nice. So that's one tip I have for phone interviews, is even if you do stutter, you know, whatever, it does help to like dress nice even though you're talking on the phone. You know, you want to make sure like there's no background sound. You want to make sure that you've eaten so that you're thinking clearly for the interview, and you want to just relax and know that it will be done. It will be over with. And that was what I tried to think the whole time when I was doing my interview. But yeah, I will say like dressing nice, even though you're doing a phone interview, can make a dramatic difference, because you'll just feel so much better about yourself. You'll feel so much more confident about yourself, and that has really helped me. Like, even sometimes if I'm just calling someone on the phone and I'm just afraid I'm going to stutter with them, or I'm just afraid I'll get so much anxiety from that, I will kind of like, well, and usually I'll do yoga that morning to kind of ease my anxiety a bit, and then I'll make sure that I have had something to eat, so I'm not stressing so much, and I'm just trying to think clearly. You know, this is if it's like a stressful professional phone call that I need to make. And a phone interview is probably one of the most stressful and intense and professional things that you can do in the professional world. So naturally, being someone who stutters, that's like one of the things that makes me really nervous. But that was one thing is when I was in the Marine Corps, is I learned, you know, certain things to help you with interviews and certain things that you can do to help build your confidence. And I will say that confidence is definitely a huge thing when doing these interviews, you know, whether it's in person, whether it's on the phone. And in this case, the story I'm talking about is my phone interview on the phone, and how confidence can play a huge issue with that too. And this is just a small tip too. I don't know if any of this would help you, but it helps me sometimes. When I am talking to anyone on the phone, you know, or calling to ask for jobs, you know, or anything, or a phone interview, it helps me to walk around. So like if I'm standing in one place, I actually usually will stutter more. And I think the reason why I do this is because usually, like, you'll see me in these videos too, is I'll tend to move my hands a lot, you know, like when I stutter, I tend to do physical movements, which it just helps me get through words, you know, it just helps me get through blocks and stuff. So just like, you know, moving around can help. So that's another tip I have for you. And then another tip I have that has actually helped me a bit is when I'm talking to the person on the phone, I will walk in the bathroom and I will look at myself in the mirror and I will watch my mouth move. And I don't know why this has helped me a bit, but it has. It could be because I'm just like it. I feel like I'm talking to someone else who I know, even though I'm technically looking at myself, and I'll tend to just feel a lot more comfortable, just because I'm watching my mouth move, and that just somehow helps me to build confidence somehow. I'm honestly not really sure why, but that's just the biggest guess that I can give, is that I feel like I'm looking at someone who I know, even though it's me. It's really weird. Whatever. But yeah. And then one other tip I can give you too is really, like, when you're doing a phone interview, or even just any type of phone call on the phone that's making you nervous, is just to speak very loudly. Speaking very loudly can really help too. That's one thing I found, is speaking loudly has really made a difference with me. Like if I feel like I'm going to stutter, I have noticed at the times where I am speaking loudly, I usually tend to stutter less. I honestly don't know why. Once again, I don't know if it's because I'm feeling more confident, or it's because I'm using different parts of my jaw or my mouth. But it's just those are some things that have helped me, whether it's phone calls or phone interviews. One other thing too that has also helped me is I will hang out with a pet. So like what I mean by that is when I'm about to give the call, I'll just like sit next to my cat, or I'll sit next to some other pet that I'm near, and that will also just help me just to kind of calm me down, because animals really bring me peace, and they're just so sweet. And one thing I've also gotten a few questions with recently too is like, you know, can someone not hire you because of your stuttering? And technically that's against the law, although it definitely does happen where someone won't hire you because you do stutter, but it's against the law. But most companies, I wouldn't think, would really care if you do stutter, although sometimes I do doubt it myself, if I'm applying for a job and then someone who doesn't stutter applies for a job, it makes me more nervous because I think, like, you know, why would they choose me? Because I can't speak fluently, but they would choose them. So that always makes me really nervous. And sometimes I always feel like I have to compensate for that when I'm applying for jobs somehow. So anyway, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this video on phone interviews and just tips for talking on the phone overall. Please don't forget to hit the red subscribe button, and also leave in the comments below if you guys have done any phone interviews and what was your experience with that and anything like that, because I would love to know. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.